I should let go.
We've been dreaming about having a proper gaming corner for a while now. The thing is that we are still sort of trying to figure this whole space out. However, I think things are starting off on the right foot with this monitor LG recently sent. This here is very different from what we've been bringing into the office. It's literally a 32-inch 4K HDR panel of pure beauty at 160 Hz. It is capable of so much, and it is very much a display that is here to stay. This is a gaming monitor like no other, and since LG is one of my all-time favorite brands, I am going to most likely feature this on our upcoming minimal gaming desk setup video. Could be one of the most popular gaming monitors the market sees this year. So today, I thought it would be fun to showcase this 160Hz monitor, talk about my gaming experience with it, and see if it's even worth the money. Okay, so setting up most gaming monitors are a joke, and this is no different. This here actually came with a two-part stand. The feet, which are made out of plastic, and the arm itself matching the same material. It really doesn't take a genius to assemble this and snap it to the monitor panel. Within the box, there was also a monitor accessories box that provides things such as a DisplayPort cable, a certified 2.1 HDMI cable, a USB cable, as well as the power brick along its cable to supply power to the monitor. In contrast to my other LG monitors, this does not come with a power extension cord. It does suck since those types of accessories make cables easier to route, so LG, if you are watching this, please do include these within your gaming flagship monitors. But hey, I guess this little cable management cover plate still allows us to keep things clean. As much as this is a gaming monitor with gaming design features, I must say it does look good. For a monitor of such caliber, it really isn't as bulky as what I was expecting it to be, nothing like the Aorus FI32U I had reviewed last year. For what this packs up, the dimensions make sense, fits super well on smaller spaces, and if you have, say, a table that doesn't offer much depth, this will do you just fine. Look, as a whole, it's a 28.3 inches in width, 23.6 inches in height, and 11 inches in depth assembled monitor, so it should fit without having to sacrifice your eyes. Just make sure your desk is sturdy, as this monitor with its stand is on the heavier side at 11.6 kilograms. However, if you are like me and you enjoy VESA mounts, know that your depth starts at 2.3 inches as this monitor is slim. Plus, if you already have other LG products that came with their own VESA mount, this here is compatible. But look, overall, their own stand does offer a tilt feature, a height feature, and even a pivot feature, although no swivel, which could overall make you want to switch to a VESA mount. Regardless, the arm is clean and matches the back of the panel, a panel with a hexagon theme and shades of purple and gray, which looks so nice. It doesn't feel cheap, which I was worried about when I first took it out of the box. No, these hexagons are very much engraved into the panel. It's not a gigantic sticker, just like at the top with this nice Ultra Gear logo that emits this cool little purple reflection. Now, the other thing I like about the back panel, which hits very close to home, is the LEDs on the back of the monitor. It's nothing like the hues we often put on our monitors in terms of brightness, but they still deliver that nice little subtle glow of light on the wall. It would be super cool that instead of controlling these through the menu, we could control it through the app. However, that's my inner self trying to figure out ways to automate things around the office. It could just make things a lot easier to control. So other than the small little vent holes we've got on the sides and on the back panel, we've also got some nice bezels. They are not thin by any means. In fact, there's a plastic cover forming a two-piece design with the black portion of the bezel, and towards the bottom, this black strip does become a little thicker to be able to probably fit some hardware for the menu joystick and create enough room for the Ultra Gear logo. If we use that joystick to go into the input portion of the menu, you guys will see a few options. Turning the monitor around, you can see we've got a USB 3.0 port controlling a couple of USB-A ports. We also have a couple of HDMI 2.1 ports that leave enough room at the bottom for a display port. However, instead of putting the 3.5mm headphone jack here, LG was clever enough to displace this towards the bottom of the monitor. For gamers and accessibility purposes, this makes total sense, as it is a port that delivers virtual 3D sound and DTS:X headphone support. By the way, since we are talking about support, a little tip I have for you guys is to stick to DisplayPort as much as you can. The most common version of HDMI is HDMI 2.0, and it only supports up to 18 gigabits per second, which is almost half of the transfer rate of DisplayPort 1.4. HDMI 2.1 has been slow to adopt by many companies, including Apple, so do make sure that if you want to stick to HDMI, those devices very much support 2.1. If it does, well, great, because HDMI 2.1 increases the amount of information being sent to 48 gigabytes per second. This allows for really high-end monitors resolutions like 4K to run at very high refresh rates like 240 Hz. This is all just a tip so you guys can be aware. Now, LG this year really tried to deliver the ultimate gaming monitor. Note they implemented a 4K nano IPS panel with 3840 by 2160 pixels, delivering 160 Hz with HDR 1000 at an aspect ratio of 16:9, which is very impressive for a monitor nowadays. In fact, when I first reviewed my first 4K gaming monitor last year, this really wasn't a thing, and up to now this has been an incredible panel to game on. It is super sharp, probably has the best colors I've seen on a display aside from my C2 TV, and it very well ensures that when the GPU speed is out of sync with the monitor refresh rate, the graphics card adjusts its output rate, all thanks to VRR. Okay, so personally I'm a big fan of bigger monitors. I think 27-inch monitors are perfect when it comes to using them as dual screens. 32 inches is like the sweet spots with these types of monitors. Looking at this straight on when gaming really does feel like it's big enough, and honestly up to now I really haven't experienced any IPS glow or light bleed on this panel. It's of course nothing like an OLED screen with true blacks, and it's not perfect, but for an IPS monitor it really does the job. It's almost like I feel satisfied at this size, and because this 1 millisecond nano IPS implements an advanced true wide polarizer, it enhances contrast ratios and color expression in true wide angles, which is technically very interesting and impressive to see that at such angles you barely lose any colors or contrast and barely gain glares. It's like if you were looking at a perfect picture from the side. So imagine a 1000 peak nits display delivering great image quality all around. And I say all around because the ATW does also offer an anti-glare coating, which is a must, especially when you are by the window, or else you just end up experiencing glare just like I do with my LG C2 TV. So as you can see, if we compare both at the same angle, the difference is quite massive. When it comes to gaming, I mean, we all know how awesome gaming monitors can be, and this thing is quite fast. I mean, it's no doubt that 1 millisecond is fast, but specs don't necessarily tell the full story, so I wanted to test the ghosting and smearing that often occurs on screens when gaming. Panning and shifting while I was aiming on Valorant never generated any smearing. The pixels never stay longer than they are not supposed to on the display. To make this a bit more clear for you guys, I ran a UFO test for you. All I did for this was set up the camera in front of the screen and run it at 120 frames per second so I could slow things down. At 160 Hz, there's very little ghosting on the trailing edge of the UFO, so there's only a very slight delay on the pixels behind the UFO when it passes, and so this eventually led my curiosity to test G-Sync. G-Sync is also about matching the monitor's refresh rate to the GPU rendering rate to display smooth graphics. This can be all set up within the NVIDIA control panel, under display, and click on the setup G-Sync. Make sure the monitor is recognized and enable the option on full screen only, and from that, my friends, you can very much enjoy G-Sync at its fullest. I have been having very pleasant gaming experiences with it and I have only good things to say about this display. If you don't believe me, I did run the pendulum test to show you guys that G-Sync does run properly. Also, this current model does have DAS, which is a feature that supposedly minimizes input lag, and so when I click on the mouse, my response time should be instant when firing a weapon. I personally did not notice any difference when trying this feature out, but look, a lot of these factors can be tweaked within the menu. Oh, and before I forget, power consumption when it's in sleep mode and power consumption when it's gaming isn't so bad. If you press the button under the monitor and you head to game mode, you get access to this OSD game overlay. It shows you the frame rate you are currently playing at, whether VRR is running or not, if your HDR setting is on, and even information about response time and dynamic action sync. You can also adjust other settings such as the game mode, adjust some settings like overclocking, VRR, black stabilizer, response rate, and so on, and even go to the extent of really tweaking your picture. It really is a very simple menu. It provides all the customizations you need for your lighting and delivers the overall features a gamer needs to really enjoy their gaming experience. I would happily love to recommend this to everyone, but this is very much a gaming monitor. It's not a monitor for something like your MacBook Air or even your MacBook Pro. The lack of a USB-C port really makes me not want to recommend it for productivity, although it delivers sharp text, a beautiful 4K panel, and great colors to have a fulfilling experience. But for the price, LG has other monitors that can accomplish that. That being said, this for me is one of the best monitors a gamer can consider. I am trying to get a second unit from them for my minimal gaming desk setup. However, 2 at 32 inches might be a bit overkill. Maybe running a 27-inch monitor vertically on the side will be a better idea. I will keep you guys posted on that. Click the bell notification to stay tuned. I will see you all soon. Take care.